Hi, welcome back. I'm your host, Dr. Mike Acanfora. Welcome back to the Health and Wellness in Bayonne show. Today I have with me for the second time the co-owner of the forum, Kathy Pacifico. Kathy, how are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
I said co-owner, so I included Pete.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
He's my better half, of course.
Absolutely, of course he is. So tell us, the first question I ask people when they come on the show is, tell us about your journey. Tell people how you got here, and no, not driving the car into work. Tell us how we got to this place.
I think when we spoke earlier, I think back probably over 35 years ago. It's was a journey that my dad started me on, and it was something that he was very passionate about as far as health and exercise and being around him, his crazy ways and having to be disciplined as a young girl. You revolt, but you learn that there's something behind the madness, and he would be always preaching, the importance of exercise and why we want to keep our bodies healthy and different things that we want to do to take care of ourselves. And it wasn't until I was about 17 where I met Pete, and it really kind of enhanced the experience of just knowing and understanding the importance of not just exercise, but really taking care of your body on many different levels, and being able to be in an environment where I saw someone very compassionate about helping people was inspiring.
Yes.
And so I was a member for a little bit, and after my membership had expired, I was able to be invited to be on the team. It was kind of funny, but I was graduating high school, and he had asked me if I would want to work there.
Sure.
And at 17, I was working with my family in a family business, planning to go to college for a restaurant, and I became inspired to really change my direction and study biology and really move in the direction of health, wellness, and fitness.
Wow, those seeds were then directly planted by your dad.
They were.
Yeah.
I think, I wanted to early on take the restaurant business and make it a healthy restaurant business, and my mother didn't have that. It was pizza, meatballs, and do not try to convince people to eat healthy. Only kidding, only kidding.
And that is the first version of the forum. It was the Nautilus Forum, correct?
Yeah, 32 years ago. We were on a storefront.
Right on Broadway.
Yes, it was probably only 3,000 square feet. But the dynamics inside that studio was amazing. The way that I saw Pete work with people, I was shy. I was 17, and not knowing how to really connect with people at that age. He really taught me that it wasn't about me. It was about really being a good listener, understanding where people come from, and really we use the philosophy from Dale Carnegie is, it's really not that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
And I think you want to have substance, but I think caring about people, making them feel at home was something that he really brought to the facility. And I think the energy of such a small place and the dynamics of that place really helped us build the reputation that we carry on today.
You were building relationships.
That's it.
And those relationships have brought you to where you are today, and you've built upon them. When you could have sold a long time ago, I mean, that your industry has changed dramatically over the last 10 years, and yet you are still top of the heap, number one, and you continue to improve on the delivery of your product and your brand.
Yeah, I think what makes us different is it's a community. Like, we really have grown and built a community within the facility that really allows people to feel like they have a constant place. They feel like they have the right direction. I think people are challenged, and they've tried, and they're afraid to commit and to take care of themselves. They're not sure what to do. Will I fit in?
Right.
And so if we can really create the environment and the vibe that makes people feel at home and have belief in themselves, get clarity about what's important to them,
absolutely,
then we can move in the right direction.
And that starts with the capstone. That starts with you and Pete. And not just the physical part, because you've both for all your lives taken really good care of yourselves. But that's just the one part that we're talking about here.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because physically you want to be strong, you want to be healthy.
Absolutely.
But really being able to connect with people on what their motivation is has been my fascination.
Absolutely.
And to really what drives motivation and what not only keeps them motivated for a short period of time, but how do we get them to a place where they can sustain it and they can enjoy and become all that they were meant to be.
Sure.
You know, and that dream lifestyle that people want, and they get so wrapped up with because life gets in the way.
Sure. I'm going to lose 10 pounds for my reunion, as opposed to I want to be really healthy for my grandkids that aren't even born yet.
Right.
There's a lifetime in between there, but it is so important to get to what their values are, to get them to buy into what you want them to do, what's best for them.
Yeah, it's kind of being able to really connect, you know, be really present with them and really make them feel that they can believe again.
Sure.
You know, what have they been focused on? What have their habits been? And how do we make those little shifts to instill a new belief system to get them to become.
So tell me a little bit about how you do that. Let's say somebody enters the club, middle-aged, mom, couple of kids, overweight. How would you look at that person overall, holistically, and help them to attain their goals and objectives?
You know, it really starts with what we just said, being present, welcoming, making sure that they automatically feel at home.
Okay.
You know, and being able to take them through a consultation or a small meet and greet where we can find out what their goals are or find out what kind of results they're looking for, so that we can really close the gap from where they're sitting to where they want to be.
Wonderful.
And I think, you know, what makes us different is, you know, we've been here for 32 years.
Yes.
And we've tried and tested programs, and we know what works.
Right.
You know, we've created not just an exercise program, but transformation for people. Like, literally, their lives change.
Absolutely.
When they really get clear on what they want and they are not afraid to commit. You know, and so it would be an honor and a privilege to be able to work, you know, with people. To help them. You know, find their purpose and find why getting it, you know, back into that dress for the reunion. You know, there's a why there.
Yes.
But how do we sustain that after the reunion?
Right.
How does that become their lifestyle?
Exactly. Exactly. So you're here for 32 years, and it's not by accident. Talk to people about that relationship building in the context of some of the programs that you offer, because you offer a lot of programs for people.
Yeah, and it wasn't always that way. I think our programs have always, and for a lack of a better word, they've been personalized.
Sure.
You know, when people would come in early on in our Broadway location, we really kind of gave them personalized attention. We really listened to what their needs were. And I think more than just the program, it's making them feel alive again, making them feel important when they come in, and making them feel like they have the energy to want to do it. And I think people look at exercise and they feel like it's heavy and it's work, and they work all day, and now I have to exercise.
Very true.
So if we can make it an experience that they really enjoy, and they understand that they need to give themselves permission to take care of themselves. And it's we spoke the other day about moral responsibility, like to themselves, their family.
Yes.
You know, because oftentimes we say we don't have time.
Correct.
You know, and yet we're on the sidelines watching things go by because we're not in the right health.
Absolutely. And that's something, when people come in to see me, and this is something we've talked about, when people come in to see me and they say something like, I went down to pick up an envelope and my back went out. And my answer to them is, my God, what was in that envelope that caused your back to go out? And they look at me like it.
It's got a light bulb has to go on, and they have to be able to connect the dots and say, it's not about the envelope. It's about what have I been doing? How do I take care of myself so I could feel alive again?
Absolutely. And one of the things that we're able to hone in on is, and people are almost afraid to admit it because of our bravado, but they say, Dr. Mike, you really mean to tell me that the stress, just the stress alone, could cause this? Like, that's the light bulb moment. Like, somebody actually believes me that it's a stressful life. Like,
well, and if you can relate to them and help them, because I think the lack of commitment is people are afraid. They don't believe that there's a solution. They've tried so many things in the past and they haven't worked. So with yourself, I mean, you have programs that have been really catered to helping people on such different scales that they need the right direction.
They need the right direction, and I think it's the second law of physics. They need that inertia. They need to overcome the standing stillness of life and just need to start, take that first step.
But it comes with confidence, you know, and a lot of people feel a little uneasy about how do I start?
Right.
You know, do I know how to do things? Will I look funny when I go in? Or
and that's a huge one, especially for women.
Yeah.
And that's where I think you guys have really nailed it, in that you're meeting them where they are. You're introducing them to all the different equipment. You're making sure that, number one, they're going to achieve their result. But really secondary, but not secondary, is that they're safe.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. They're safe and they feel great. We do a thing, we say we want to keep people alive, you know, when we talk about CPR, you know, out in the real world. And if we don't administer that the right way, somebody could die.
Absolutely.
Right? So in our system, we do a training that provides service CPR.
Sweet.
And we want to make sure when people come in, and it's an acronym, that it's a framework that we teach our team to look, who needs CPR?
Sure.
Who's not comfortable in the club?
Sure.
Who can we give more personal attention to?
That's brilliant.
And, you know, who could get better results?
Yep.
Who, you know, and if we could look for that, we're going to keep people alive. And if people are not comfortable walking to the locker room, well, they don't know how to use anything but the treadmill because they haven't been through a consultation, or they missed their consultation, and they're not sure if this machine is going to work this part of my body. Do I have to study it? They're going to look at me when I'm staring at it.
Absolutely.
They won't even try.
Absolutely.
So we really want to make sure, and we require that all of our members go through an orientation just so that they feel at home.
Yes.
And that they feel like they know where the club's movement is and what programs are available for them. You said there's a lot of programs. So if you like working one-on-one, if you like working in a group,
sure,
you know, we can really find what's right for you.
Yeah, and before I get into that, I just want to remember this. I meant to compliment you on the young lady that was at the front desk yesterday, because she introduced herself, she shook my hand, she looked me right in the face, and I love that. I mean, that's brilliant. That's customer service.
Right.
That's training on your part.
Thanks.
And I really wanted to compliment you on that.
It's funny because we were talking about that when you made that statement, and I went back to my team, and I had asked them, I said, what would it take that we could shake everybody's hand like we want to?
Yes.
You know, and so, but as funny as that is, and how important that is, it's really training your team on confidently reaching their hand out and touching someone. And you have to have a new team that's coming on board and you're training them. They so often feel, oh my gosh, what are they gonna think of me?
Yes.
You know, as opposed to being confident and being able to reach out and welcome that person the right way and handle it in a professional manner. It's training, and I think what sets us apart is like Sandy, you met Sandy yesterday. We invest monthly in training for our team. We talked about yourself coming in with your background and adding even more element to some of the department, and and to be able to constantly grow.
Yes.
Like, we're never ending. This industry is growing and growing. So, you know, we need to keep up with it, and you need to be able to be a resource for people when they lose their motivation or they feel like they can't do anymore.
Right.
If we're not working on ourselves,
yes.
how do we create transformation?
Absolutely. What I've seen in the industry is that there has been an evolution from just throwing somebody out there, and now with classes. Classes seem to be a really a way of creating an even stronger community. So you're going to get some folks that gravitate towards some kind of classes and others that gravitate towards different kind of classes. But I'd say, I mean, you would say, I wouldn't say because I don't know. Have you seen what I believe that I'm seeing?
I believe that everybody has interests.
Okay.
You know, and so we have the opportunity to provide 9 different core programs and 5 very exclusive programs. So that's about probably 14. Am I having the right math?
Yep.
Good. So there's about 14 programs that people can choose from.
Wow.
That, you know, really pertain to their interests, their levels, and it goes anywhere from the traditional yoga to Tai Chi and low impact and step and strength conditioning, martial arts. There's a very big trend. We talked about building the tribe with some of the newest things out with boxing and boot camps and being able to do the TRX training, the suspension training, which is all different modalities to keep an individual interested and to find, again, their need and be able to close the gap for them so they have fun.
You're talking, you've hit the entire spectrum. I mean, from Tai Chi and yoga to all the other things that we just talked about, TRX. I mean, you've covered the gamut. There has to be something in there for basically everybody.
Yeah, we do have, you know, there's nothing that we don't have in everything we do. I think when we come in to an opportunity to meet someone, it's really, we talked about even food and how do we get somebody excited about losing weight? And there's nothing I find sexy about losing weight.
Right.
You know, and so how do we help people gain control?
Yes.
And find the energy again and find the excitement when they get out of bed that I'm going to be in control of myself today. I'm going to eat, I'm going to feel vibrant, I'm going to feel alive, I'm going to deal with stress better. I'm going to crush it.
Yes.
You know, and what would it feel like to be able to come home after a day and say I crushed it?
Yes.
And I really feel great, and you have energy for your family. You're not spent.
Right.
And it's not about just the physical, it's about mentally being available.
100%.
It's about being able to creatively express yourself.
Absolutely.
I mean, how much do people, when they transform in your industry, start to think about things differently and do things differently? And
it's remarkable to see, as you have seen. And you hit on something that is one of my pet peeves. People do not want to lose anything. We hate to lose stuff.
We do.
We are competitive. We hate losing.
Yes.
We don't. If we lose something, we want to find it.
That's right.
So if you say the goal is to lose weight, you
diet.
will find. Yes.
Die. Right.
Exactly. It's like no.
No, I know.
And the next words out of your mouth were gain control. A completely different psychological paradigm.
And that's what it is. It's like shifting mindsets little by little.
Yes.
It's really being able to give people a new way of thinking. And it takes time, but if we can help them create the right habits, improve what they're focusing on. Because if they're focusing on the scale, I got to lose weight. I have to do this. It becomes too heavy.
It does.
It's not fun. And
absolutely not.
And in as little as 3 months, people's lives, in as little as 30 days.
30 days.
It really, I mean, there's an energy and a shift that builds the momentum of
absolutely.
a direction.
And then people are standing there, and it's kind of like that movie Field of Dreams where the brother-in-law turns around and says, when did all these people get here?
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden you have your life back, or you have your life for the first time.
Absolutely. And I feel like people are numb.
They are numb.
They're numb.
They are numb. That's why we are number 1 in healthcare cost in the world and number 37 in our overall health. You know, try and name 36 other countries. But that's why we spend the most dollars per capita in the world. We are numb. Mm-hmm. We are numb. And this is the venue to bring your life back to where you remember it as a child.
Yes.
And that's what we try and educate people about is, you know, just move.
Well, it's funny, we were talking about doing profiles on people, and I think oftentimes, you know, when we do the initial consultation, we want people to feel thrilled about the direction and the blueprint and the path. And if they are not encouraged, if they see how bad they are, or if we give them this test and their score shows that they're failing, you know, they could lead into a different direction if you don't guide them the right way.
Correct.
The test is a wake-up call.
Yes.
You know, but it also is a motivational tool if we can use it in the right fashion and to get them to say, this is where you are. Where do we want to go?
It is strictly a snapshot in time.
Yes.
It gives them a window as to where they are at that moment. It is not a predictor of the future. It only shows us what the past was. And even that picture taken now is now old now.
Right.
And it's funny, we were talking about the psychological aspect and being grateful yesterday. And I was telling you about an app that I had found.
Yeah.
And, I had you know, it's just the irony of this is my daughter and I were going to a travel soccer game. We're talking in the car, and she had just scored, and her team had come back to tie the game, and it was wonderful. And she's super athletic and super competitive, and it's just great to see. And I said, you know, it's funny because this morning I wrote, what are you grateful for? What would make today great? And I said, one of them would be for you to score. And then she said, and she had my phone, she says, what's this part? It's your affirmation. And my affirmation is something great is going to happen today. And then it is Marianne Williamson's quote of, our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate, our deepest fear is we're powerful beyond all measure. And she said to me, what does that mean? And it's a great opportunity that we get every day. And I turned it around and said, well, what do you think that means? And she thought about it as a 12-year-old. And she's like, the people are afraid of their own power. I said, holy crap. Sorry.
I know. but I think what you're nurturing and the evolution of your daughter, just absorbing that and being able to connect to that thought pattern is remarkable.
I mean, and here you were at that same age going through the same thing with your dad. He's just planting seeds. He's not telling you, you need to do this. He's sitting there saying, well, Kathy, try this, or we're going to go.
It wasn't as easy as that. It wasn't as negotiable as that. My dessert was protein tablets. I didn't have a choice to eat the candy that I wanted unless I snuck it, which I did, of course.
Mom wasn't feeding you
My mom
ricotta?
was. My mom was the opposite. She would sneak all the good stuff. We would wait till he went to work at night and we'd pull it out. Sorry, Dad.
That is funny.
No, but it would be. But you learn that, you know, because I have a teenager right now, and it's funny, I used your line this morning when my little guy was going out to school. I said, something great's going to happen to you today. And he says, what are you talking about? I said, I don't know, tell me later. I feel like something great's going to happen. You think?
That is funny.
Yeah, and so we were goofing around, and so my big guy has been pushing. He just got into high school, and you talk about like the same, whether it's exercise, it's all a framework for living and thinking and being. And so if he's not clear, he doesn't know why he's going to school and he needs good grades, then he's not going in with an intention. And so we're talking about, like, why is this so important to you? Like, learning sometimes is tough for kids. If they're learning certain subjects that they're not like naturally in love with. It's kind of, how do you get them to fall in love with it? And it's a battle at times. And,
it absolutely is.
So, but if we can connect his why to that and
Yes.
help him understand the power that he has and how he needs to focus.
Yes.
And so he was struggling with a couple of subjects, and he texts me, and as a boy, 14, we're not really texting a lot, but we get up at, I'm not kidding, 5 in the morning, we're studying, we're
Wow.
doing reflections and things
That's
like that.
fantastic.
And he texts me today on my way up and says to me, guess what grade I got on my exam today? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to guess. I didn't know if it was good or bad. And so he said, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, I still don't know. Is it good or bad? And he wound up getting a 95, and he's like, I was at the top of the class. And it was so,
Brilliant.
it was for him, I could tell he was elated. And
Absolutely.
so it instills, like somebody coming in to
Yes.
exercise, somebody coming into your office, they need to believe that
Yes.
they could do it.
And that's what we do. We offer hope.
Yes.
That's what we do.
We want you to become all that you were meant to be, and
Absolutely.
really help you live that life.
It is exactly what we want to be. The message is we offer hope. So we offer an oasis. We offer them a respite from the world, create tribes of like-minded people, and we offer hope.
Yes.
That's the beauty of what we do in our places where we work.
Yeah,
So-
it's very much a field of gratitude, and it's
Sure.
an honor, I'm sure, for you as well, and a privilege to be able to
Oh,
connect with people and be able
absolutely.
to have the impact that you have in changing their lives.
Absolutely. So tell people where, I know where to find you, but tell people where they can find you and Pete and the forum, and tell them a little bit about how to get in touch with you.
Well, there's a lot of excitement. We really couldn't be more excited at this time. We have just entered our last phase of our renovation. This is our 8th renovation over the past 32 years. We're located on 25th Street between Broadway and Avenue C. A lot of excitement inside those doors, and so we welcome you with open arms to really begin a new journey and to really take your life and your well-being to the level that you've always dreamed it could be.
Awesome. Well,
Thank you.
thanks, Kathy, for being on the show. It is my privilege to have you on again. And
Equal.
hopefully we see a lot more of you in the new year. And bye, everybody. Thanks so
Bye.
much.
Thank you.